Several coalitions are bound to spring up across the country, especially in the Western Cape, where even though the DA enjoys a majority in the metro, analysts are predicting nearly a dozen hung councils. So as voting continues and the political arena morphs, let's get some expert analysis in studio from Mapaseka Muroa, who's joining us now. Mapaseka, thank you so much for joining us. Coalition talk set to dominate the day.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, if you look at 2016, we had about 27 hung councils, and now we've got like 35 and counting. So coalitions are nothing different or new in South Africa in particular. There's something that have been there. But the switch came in 2016 where we saw that big shift in the metros. We saw Nelson Mandela Bay, Tshwane, Johannesburg. And so now everyone is wondering, what is this going to look like now because of the instability that was there? So the particular issue is that you've got these different political parties with different ideologies, right? And they're accountable to their constituency. So it's tricky when they are in a coalition. On one side, if the predominant party is able to actually do a good job, the municipality gets to function properly. That doesn't necessarily mean that the small parties that are part of that coalition win, because then people would think, why then vote for the smaller party if this big party is able to do such a great job? On the other hand, if it does a terrible job, then it reflects also on the smaller parties as well. So you've got this tug of war that happens. We want to ensure that our constituency get what they've been promised, but at the same time, coalitions require for us to compromise at the end of the day.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about. Is it fair to the voter?
It isn't. It isn't, especially the instability that we've seen, particularly in Tshwane and Nelson Mandela Bay. Johannesburg, it was touch and go. But it's not fair because people just want functionality, and beyond that, they want socio and economic development in their municipalities. So these political parties are unable at the end of the day to compromise. And it's an arrogance thing because at the least, you should be able to just ensure that your municipality functions. But beyond that, we can compromise. Yes, they want different things. I mean, the economic freedom fighters want to declare special economic zones. The Democratic Alliance just wants to get rid of red tape to ensure that businesses are able to function properly. The African National Congress wants to revitalize industrialization, particularly in the metros. So they should be able to be a give and take. There are places where we can compromise and there are places where we can agree, especially for political party like the DA, where what they're offering is just functionality. So beyond that, they should be able to compromise.
But they failed to take advantage of a wounded ANC. Will there be any repercussions for John Steenhuisen? Musi Maimane was saying this morning, don't blame me for this problem.
Yeah. Look, I don't think there would be major repercussions for him, and I'll tell you why. When Musi Maimane came in, right, in 2016, there was, a bit of a push, a lift within the Democratic Alliance. The change happens in 2019. A lot of people associated, with the rise of the economic freedom fighters. Yes, that's one thing. But another thing is that the politics of the Democratic Alliance changed. So Musi Maimane as a candidate wasn't an issue. It's the politics that changed. The Democratic Alliance began to be a little bit left-leaning, and that alienated the conservative voter that used to vote for the Democratic Alliance. And so what you have now is those same individuals who have now gone to the Freedom Front Plus, who have gone to the Patriotic Alliance, and they've kept walking. So John Steenhuisen, as much as they thought he would appeal to that conservative vote, he hasn't been able to do that. But I don't think that the repercussions would be heavy because it speaks to the politics of the Democratic Alliance. They need to look at the policy.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that insight there, and I hope we can chat again.